Hey guys, it's Anton here from SunBros, and it's time for another how to build video. Today we're going to be covering Illumia. Let's see here. She is a mage, and her main abilities are control and harass. As you guys can see on the left side, her ability damage is off the charts, all the way maxed out, and difficulty is also very, very high. She's not an easy hero to be very good on, but she's very good when she's played well. Okay. Let's go ahead and, well, first thing we're going to go through Illumia's abilities, and we're going to kind of figure out a little bit about who she is, what she brings to the table, what her kit is like, so we can figure out how best to build her in order to accentuate the best things about her and kind of cover up those weaknesses and hide them. Alright guys, her passive is Goddess. Using any two abilities will strengthen the next divine light cast within 3 seconds and refreshes its cooldown immediately. So that's actually a big one. It's a huge part of her kit. Getting to the enhanced divine light is amazing. That's her first ability. Not only does it go through targets, it also causes knockups. It's a really, really solid ability. So getting to that one is really, really nice. It's a big part of her kit. First ability, divine light. 3-second cooldown, 40 mana cost. Illumia fires a divine light in the target direction, which explodes upon contact with enemies in range and deals 350 base all the way to 650 at level 6. Plus 45% of the AP scaling of magic damage. The Divine Light deals 1.6 times the damage along the path and knocks enemies back when it's enhanced by Illumia's passive. So, kind of tells you, so it goes through everything instead of hitting the first target and ending, and it knocks enemies back, and then it does 1.6 amount of damage. The explosion at the end of the path deals double damage, stuns the target for 1 second, and reduces the target's movement speed for 1.5 seconds. So it's a really, really, the enhanced divine light is epic. It's really great. So it's a really big part of her kit, and it's one of the things that makes her really special. Okay, so this divine light. Second ability is Banish. 10-second cooldown. We have 120 mana cost. Illumia knocks back enemies, nearby enemies using Banish, dealing 190 base damage all the way up to 310. And that's the base, and then a 40% AP scaling of magic damage. Movement speed of all targets hit is reduced by 30%, and Illumia's movement speed is increased by 30% for 1 second if the ability lands successfully. The cooldown does go from 10 seconds to 5 seconds at level 6, so that can be reduced. And then with cooldown reduction, get that ability back all the time. It's really sick. Okay. Then we're going to her ultimate, which is one of the things that really makes Illumia pop, really makes her potent, and that is Cataclysm. 70-second cooldown to start, goes down to 50 seconds at level 3. Illumia summons a divine matrix that explodes after a short delay below all enemy heroes, dealing 640 base damage, going up to 1000 at level 3, and 100% AP scaling magic damage to enemies nearby and stunning them for 1 second. Illumia also gains vision of the enemy heroes for 3 seconds. Alright guys, so that is Illumia's kit and what she brings to the table. And the last thing I want to do before we move on is I'm actually going to pull up a calculator here. A little handy dandy calculator, and we're going to take a look exactly at how low the cooldowns would get for the first bit. So this one is, Divine Light is 3 seconds, static across the board. But let's say we get 40% cooldown reduction. It's going to go down to 1.8 seconds, and then the ultimate is at 50 seconds. Sorry, second ability goes down to 5 seconds. So 5 seconds with the 40% cooldown reduction takes it down to 3 seconds. And I'm not a mathematician, but I'm assuming 50 seconds is going to go down to 30 seconds, so we can spam that ultimate. I'm not sure we're going to hit 40% cooldown reduction on all the builds, but I want to make sure that we know where we would stand. Okay, so let's go to the equipment section, and let's build us a build. Actually, today you guys are going to get 2 builds for the price of 1. You're going to get a mid lane build, and I'm also going to make a Illumia support build. I've always been a proponent of using some of the high crowd control mid laners as supports. Illumia is one of them. Oh. Excuse me, I might have any on fest here. Illumia is one of them. Alistair's a couple other ones. I think that they built correctly can be used really effectively as supports. In fact, more effectively than some of the supports. So first, we're going to be giving you the mid lane build, where she's played most often, and then we're going to give you a support build as bonus. We'll discuss Arcana, and we'll discuss talents. Okay, so Illumia's first item in the mage section is going to be pretty common one, or with Magi. One of the things I really want to talk about here for everyone who's watching is a very common question we get is why not build Phoenix tier? So this is the reason why. The difference between Phoenix tier, at 60 ability power and the passive, and Orb of the Magi, is a lot. So you start off with 140 ability power, but then you get 12 stacks 10 times. So you go up to actually 260 on the ability power. And you get 1100 HP. And then a 10% cooldown reduction. So you're talking about 1510 more gold. But you're also talking about 120 more ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, and 1100 health. Especially for somebody like Illumia that doesn't have an actual dash. She does have an escape with her second ability. She knocks people back and she has an increased movement speed. But without somebody with like a hard escape like Liliana or somebody who can dash all the time, this is it's a nice thing to have. And I just think 1510 gold is worth all the extra stuff you get. So it's actually more than 120 extra ability power. It's 200 extra ability power. So it's 1500 gold. If I asked you, honestly, if you would spend 1510 gold for an item that came with 200 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, and 1100 health, you would say yes, hands down. Anyone who says no is a liar. 200 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, and 1100 health is a lot. And that's more than some items. Like, let's see, Boomstick is only going to give you 240 and no health. You're going to have items like, you know, Rhea's Blessings, 140 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction. Now, two good passives, but we're in the same boat, honestly, as far as like base stats. And then, you know, Frosty's is less health, less ability power, a little bit of movement speed, and then the passive. And so yeah, it's just, I find it really hard to believe. Apocalypse is 200, 10%, so that's the same base stats, and then the passive. So yeah, I find it real hard to believe that. And no health. Yeah, so like a lot of these items don't have any health. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense to not finish over the Magi. It gets to be one of the most potent items in the game, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that off. Okay, so when we have 10% cooldown reduction, not including talents. Then we're going to get some boots, of course. And you can go a couple different ways here. Excuse me, we could go Gilded Greaves to reduce cooldown reduction and do some early magic defense for when we're in lane. We could go Flashy Boots to get 15% cooldown reduction and, you know, be able to survive, be able to get our abilities up more often. But we're actually going to end up going with Enchanted Kicks. I just want to get a lot of Magic Pierce. And the reason why is because the ultimate is a potent game changer, and I want it to do a solid amount of damage to all the heroes it hits, as well as just get that early game Magic Pierce so that you can do extra damage early game. Because Illumia's early game damage isn't great. It gets much better throughout the game. So this helps quite a bit. Alright, next we're going to be going to our third item, back to the magic section. And so at this point in the game for Illumia, one thing that I found is that Illumia can get kind of, I don't want to say squishy, but without having as much burst damage as some of the other mages have, where she can't just like immediately delete somebody. She's more of a person who really just beats things down over time and uses combos with their abilities to really get things done. Survivability is a little bit more important than it is to some people, so I wanted to make sure that we gave Illumia some help in that aspect. I'm never going to stop yawning. Okay, we're going to Rhea's Blessing. Rhea's Blessing is 140 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, and then the passives we have Life Shield. Gains a shield that absorbs 450 plus 50 per level, plus 40% ability power. So that's a huge shield that she ends up getting. It gets obviously bigger as the game goes on. So anytime she falls below 40% health, she's going to get this massive shield. Remember, Illumia has some reliable escapes also with her second ability. The shield lasts for 4 whole seconds, so it could really save Illumia's life. And she gets, of course, the unique passive Magic Lifesteal, which is going to allow her to shield 29% of the damage she does and back to health. One of the reasons that that's key is because, like, if Illumia's low on health, that ultimate can hit 2 or 3 people, do enough damage to really give her a chunk of her health back. I think just overall, the survivability that this brings to her is awesome, and I'm really excited about it. So Rhea's Blessing, item number tier 3 item number 2. Then we're going to be moving on to another magic item. We're going to be getting Hecate's Diadem. 240 ability power, 35% extra ability power from all the items and everything combined. So it's a huge boost to damage. Now she's got some survivability, she has some damage, she has some cooldown reduction. So this is actually a really solid start to the game for Illumia. And I think she has a little bit of everything what she wants. And then so at this point in the game, when you're going for the 5th item, you start to get mid-late game, and this is a good time for Illumia to really start focusing on what she brings to the team. And I actually really like this item for her, and it's going to be Staff of Null. And the reason I say what she brings to the team, because we get 10% more cooldown reduction, putting us at 30% total in the build, and the 40% magic pierce, and of course the 180 ability power. So at this point in the game, I'm wanting Illumia's ult to start having a lot more punch on everyone and really start to be a much larger factor than they normally would be, to help turn fights, because Illumia's ultimate is really the big game changer for her. So the ability to hit that ult and time it just right where it hits 2, 3, 4, 5 people and have it take a chunk of their health out is totally 100% game changing, and it's awesome. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to be going with, I'm just going full damage, balls to the wall. Give me Holy of Holies, 400 ability power, and then Enlightenment increases maximum HP at 1400. So she actually has some tankiness in this build. She has the tankiness that we get from Orb of the Magi, which is 1100 health. She has the shield and the magic lifesteal from Rhea's Blessing, and then she has the 1400 health from the Holy of Holies, which makes her somewhat tanky. And remember, with a hero like a mage like Illumia that's a little bit more chunky rather than bursty, it's okay to build some tankiness like this in order to help yourself survive, because that's essentially your goal. You can out-survive the enemy and just chunk them down and kill them, and this helps. Okay, so for those of you who are wondering, I haven't done the math on this set, so let's do some math real quick. On top of the base, how much magic does this actually have? How many magic power, ability power does it actually have? So let's get the old calculator out, and we'll add in the bonus. So this one gets, we talked about this one already, this gets 260 total for Orb of the Magi. This is going to be 140 for Rhea's Blessing. And then we get 240 for Kate's Diadem. So right now at this point, let's add we'll add the damages. So 640, but we're going to do 640 times 1.35. So we're at 864 right now. 3 items in, we have 864. We have some magic pierce. We're starting to get pretty potent at this point. Now I'm going to go back to the 640 just so we can add it up, you know, regularly. So then we get Staff of Null at 180. Now we have massive pierce. Guys, and then we're going to add in the 447 is an insane amount of ability power, and that isn't even including. It's going to put us at 12. Any we're going to get from the Arcana, which I also think we'll get the bonus from Kate's Diadem. We're at 1647. So that is absolutely sick. Okay, so huge damage, survivability, a ton of. We have 30% cooldown reduction. I mean, this is awesome. So we're going to kind of add in some of the Arcana numbers later. First, I want to make sure I give you guys a look at the support build, and we have first Ring of the Fiend, 15% cooldown reduction, 20 mana for 5 seconds, 200 armor, 600 max HP, 5% movement speed, and of course you get the gold per 3 seconds if you're the lowest level in the group, and then you get the extra gold per kill or assist. Keep you guys topped off on that good money so that you guys can keep yourselves going. And then Eye of the Fiend gives vision to nearby allies, so she's gonna have 2 ways of giving people vision now: her ultimate and her freaking Ring of the Fiend. And then we're going to go with, the reason we're going with Sonic Boots is because it's a little bit low on the armor until late game. So we're going to go ahead and go Sonic Boots early. 110 armor, and then the unique passive reduces normal attack damage taken by 15%. And the other reason we're going Sonic Boots is because the unique passive, taking the reduced normal attack damage by 15%, is really good against enemy marksmen. If you're going to be playing support, you're going to be going up against enemy marksmen for the entire beginning of the game. So solid there also. Then we're going to be moving on to Barris Agony, which is a way of giving her both damage and tankiness, as we get 140 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, 225 armor, and which is a pretty decent amount, to be honest. That's more armor than a lot of items actually have in this game. In fact, let's take a look. Manzora, 200 more. This is no, she lost more. The Aegis is more, but Mail of Pain 300. Hercules is 225, same amount. 200 for Odin's Will. You got Frostcape at 200. You got 100 on Hyoguch. I mean, it's better, and it's even better than Rock Shield. So it's better than quite a lot of the items. Okay, then we're gonna be going, and then of course the passive is gonna give us some extra damage. Ability damage inflicts additional magic damage equal to 3% of the target's current HP. So the reason why that's great is because she's able to spam abilities. We're going to give her 40% cooldown reduction. She's going to be able to spam abilities one after the other. That freaking cooldown on the first ability, remember, gets down to 1.8 seconds, which is awesome. So she'll be able to just keep getting Barris to go off over and over again, keep that burn damage up. So it just gives her more bite. Then we're going to be going, guys, standards. We're going to be paying an off-tank type hero. We're going to be building fairly tanky, which we are. You got to have some magic defense, some HP, some movement speed. So we get 240 magic defense, 1200 max HP, 5% movement speed, and then when taking damage, restores health. So just more tankiness. Then we're going to be getting Frosty's Revenge. Why are we getting Frosty's Revenge on the support build, but not the main build? Because of her job, and the extra reduction in movement speed is more important for support who's really trying to control people than it is for a mage. I mean, it comes in handy for a mage, but it just wasn't worth taking any of the other items off for. In this case, it has 140 ability power, 850 max HP, so more tankiness, more movement speed. Abilities that deal damage will also reduce enemy movement speed by 20% for 2 seconds. So that's solid. So the slow is going to help. Anytime you get an ability, it's a slow, and she gets abilities constantly with this build. So I actually want to note one other thing too. We have 5% movement speed from the Ring of the Fiend. We obviously have the boots. We have 5% movement speed from Guy Satyr and 5% movement speed from Frosty. She'd be walking pretty fast, which is nice for a support, especially as they need to roam a little bit and kind of start helping other people. And then we're going on to the Aegis. 20% cooldown reduction, putting us at 45%, which isn't possible, so we're stuck at the cap of 40%. 400 max mana, so she never runs out. 360 armor, topping us off pretty high. And then, of course, the passive, when taking damage, reduces the attacker's attacks by 30% and movement speed by 15%. So Illumia is going to be annoying as hell with this build. She can be hard to kill. She can be doing a lot of crowd control, a lot of little damage. It's just going to be really frustrating people to deal with. So we're actually going to be giving this because people are going to want to attack her, especially in marksman. She'll be in marksman's face. She'll be in front of her own marksman. And we could have gone with something like Shield of Loss, but that's nearby enemies. And Illumia doesn't really stay nearby people. She just is at a distance. So anyone attacking her will have a massive reduction in movement speed and attack speed, which is just going to be ridiculous. So she already has slows on slows on slows and stuns on stuns on stuns. So this is why the reason of playing a support is pretty interesting, is we're going to be giving her so much crowd control. She's not going to be able to she's going to be just constantly slowing and stunning people and reducing their freaking attack speed now. So this is the support build, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now let's go ahead and talk real quick about Arcana. Okay, so Arcana, I have 2 AP Arcana. I'm actually going to go with the AP CDR Arcana for her, which is ability power 90. Now this is, okay, so we're going to do 2 different ones. One for when she's playing support, one when she's playing mid. So this is the mid Arcana. 90 ability power. So let's just get the math down. 90 times 1.35, because we're doing the Hecate Sidon bonus, is 121.5 plus the 1647 we already had. We're at 1768. Rounded up to 1769. Ridiculous ability power. More Magic Pierce, 24 more. We already have the 75 from... Is it 75? We have the 75 from the boots, right? So the boots are 75. So we're at 99 Magic Pierce after we have the second item in, which is legit. And then we're going to have the Magic Lifesteal, 10 more. So that gives us 35% Magic Lifesteal, giving that survivability a nice boost. And then we have the cooldown speed of 7%. So that gives our cooldown reduction 37% on the mage build and 52% on the support build, which is obviously we're going to do a different Arcana for that. That's right. So Arcana build for the support build is actually going to be, we're actually going to build this one from scratch. I don't really have one for this build, and I want one. So I'll show you what we're going to build. We're going to go to the Arcana. We're going to build a new one out. We're going to do... We're going to go with Violate, 42 ability power, and 24 Magic Pierce. And then we're going to go purples, and we're going to go with the Devour, 24 ability power, and 1% Magic Lifesteal. That's going to give us that. So we already have, let's see, we got... Where are we at? Okay, we're on Violate. So 42 plus 24 is going to give us 66 ability power and 10% Magic Lifesteal. And then obviously we have, what, 24 Magic Pierce? Yeah, okay. Then we get the green, and we're going to go with... for this build, we're going to go with Hex. And we're going to get 24 more ability power. I think that gives us 90. That gives us 90. 7% cooldown reduction. Oh, we don't need cooldown reduction, do we? So let's see if anything better. It's kind of tough. There's not really anything better for that. Let's just go ahead and take Flurry. Attack speed and magic pierce. You could do Hex also, but another 64 magic pierce definitely wouldn't hurt to do a little action. So I would be cool with Hex or Flurry here for more on that. And then, or you could do Consume, I guess. Magic more magic lifesteal. I mean, that'll put you at a ridiculous 42% magic lifesteal, which is no, actually this is the tank build. So yeah, no, that would be necessary. We could also do something like just straight tankiness, go Mithril, make you real tanky early game. I'm cool with all those options. Green's kind of a flexible pick for that. So those are the Arcana you're going to take for the support build. And then you could go with, actually I think I have one of those set up. I think my APAS build is set up for that. 66. Yeah. 88 magic pierce, 66 ability power, 10% lifesteal. Magic lifesteal and the 6% attack speed. So that's actually a pretty nice one. Really high on the pierce. So that's solid. Okay, then we're going to be going to talents. Talents, mid lane can go one of two ways, boys and girls. It can go for... you can go with heal or you can go with flicker. Either one of those is fine. Yeah, that's pretty much what yeah, pretty much either one will work fine. And then for support, you just want to go heal. Make sure you have some healing for your buddy. Alright guys, that is it for Illumia's how to build video. Let's go real quick and recap of the mid build. It's going to be Over the Magi, Enchanted Kicks, Rhea's Blessing, Hecate's Diadem, Staff of Null, and Holy of Holies. And the support build is going to be Ring of the Fiend, Sonic Boots, Bareth's Agony, Gaia Standard, Frosty's Revenge, and of course the Aegis. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed another how to build video. I will be back tomorrow with some more content. I hope you guys are excited for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, till next time.